Hey everybody, this is Kent Davis, and today I'm going to explain the rental process for Panama City, Panama. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe. So, okay, renting a property in Panama. First of all, Panama City is sort of a condo town. So a lot more of your options are going to be for apartments, or we call them condos here in Panama. But you've also obviously got single family homes, both inside gated communities and outside of gated communities. So a couple basics about the rental process in Panama. Typically, you're going to be putting down 2 months rent. First month to cover the security deposit, which stays with the owner until you leave, and you get it returned if you leave the property in good shape. And then the prepayment of month 1. Typical leases run for 12 months, and you can find both furnished and unfurnished apartments. A good rule of thumb is about 10% price difference between furnished and unfurnished. And getting into different areas, of course, what you get depends on your budget, and the price of a property depends on a lot of different things. If you're looking for more higher end neighborhoods, I think a good place to start are Balboa Avenue, Punta Pacifica, or Costa del Este. Of course, you're going to want to think about schools, where you're working, and logistics of traffic, because traffic is definitely something to consider. Another point to consider is noise. When you're looking at a property on the weekend, maybe in front of a park or in front of a school, obviously during the week it could get quite a bit noisier. Same thing if you're looking at a property next to a construction site. Be prepared for ding, 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 bonk, 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 starting at 7 a.m. if you're next to a construction site. So noise is a big deal. Also, if you're in front of a school, get ready for band practice. 7 a.m. Saturday morning. That will be your alarm. But besides noise, obviously you're living in a big city, so that's a consideration. It doesn't have to be. If you want to live in a place like Costa del Este or Albrook, Clayton, those are generally very quiet areas. If walkability is important for you, you're going to want to look at Casco Viejo or El Cangrejo. San Francisco is an interesting neighborhood, somewhat walkable, not so great for sidewalks, but really great if you want to live near a park. In this case, Parque Omar, one of the biggest parks we have. If you're into exercise, definitely consider Balboa Avenue. You've got the Cinta Costera right there, which is our coastal belt line that runs east to west from Paitilla, which is one of our older neighborhoods, all the way to Casco Viejo. So speaking of old, there are a lot of old apartments and there are a lot of new apartments in Panama. Older apartments expect to get a better price per square meter. So that's how one of the factors that we as real estate agents use to price a property. So price per square meter is basically the rent that you're going to pay divided by how big the apartment is. And properties tend to be lower price per square meter, which means you get a bigger apartment if they're older. So $1,200, for example, gets you a great 2-bedroom furnished apartment on Avenida Balboa, probably a little smaller, say 70 to 90 meters for a 2-bedroom, versus that might get you 1,600 square feet or 140 meters, same price in Paitilla, right? Or in Bella Vista, Marbella, O Barrio. All of these places, El Cangrejo, have older apartments, and most of those places also have newer apartments to choose from. So that's a factor. If you're looking for a lot of space, big balcony, you know, maybe kind of an outdated kitchen, maybe not great amenities, but you just want to keep your costs low, have a lot of space, look at an older apartment and look in a neighborhood where you've got plenty of older apartments to choose from. That said, if you prefer amenities, a lot of bells and whistles, newer buildings are the way to go. I mean, we've got, for example, a building called YOO. All the bells and whistles, right on the water, concierge desk, big swimming pool, towel service, there's a bar, there's multiple restaurants in the building, awesome gym, kids play area, golly, what else? Poker room. I mean, just like amenities galore. The Ocean Club, another building in Punta Pacifica, the former Trump Tower, same thing. That's actually combined with a hotel, so you get the added benefit of having things like room service available, concierge service available, valet parking available. So yeah, I mean, that's a general overview of the rental market. What other details can we get into? Well, as always, happy to answer questions in the comments. Negotiable. How negotiable is the rent? Well, all depends on the owner, right? So ask the right questions. How long has the property been on the market? Does the owner live in Panama? You're going to want to find out who your property manager is. Because if the property manager is either A, not going to answer the phone when you call to get your toilet fixed, or B, is the owner who lives in Russia or Spain or California where there's a significant time difference, that's something that's not necessarily a huge negative, but something you want to think about. So ask those questions. Other terms that might make something negotiable is, hey, furniture, maybe I don't need it. Do you have a place to put it? What else? If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So we always encourage our tenants to make an offer, see what happens. Other terms that you can play with a little bit is say, hey, instead of a 12-month lease, how about we sign a 16-month lease or a 24-month lease? Maybe you can put a little bit money up front. Instead of 2 months deposit, maybe it's 4 months. So I'm going to prepay you my first 3 months just so you know I'm an awesome tenant. And then you've got that 1 month security deposit. Those are different ways that you can negotiate here in Panama and really in most real estate markets. So in that sense, Panama is no different. What else? Buildings that have a lot of apartments for rent versus buildings where there are very few owners who want to rent out their property. Those units tend to be more negotiable because there's always competition, upstairs, downstairs, versus a very prestigious building. Well, you know, the owner might typically be able to rent it quickly because a lot of people are looking in that building and there are not many to choose from. Supply and demand. So make sure to ask your real estate agent, hey, is this a place where a lot of apartments are for rent generally? If the answer is yes, you know, put an aggressive offer. You never know what they're going to say. A general rule of thumb is that the property value is about 5 to 7% of the rent, or sorry, the other way around. So if you take your rent times 12 divided by the apartment, you should get anywhere from 5 to, in some cases, 8%. And that is just sort of a metric you can use to make sure that the rent is in line with the value. Now, the owner is obviously setting the rental price, but hey, nothing wrong with doing a little research, right? And making sure that the rental price is appropriate if you're just in love with the property. I think that's it. So guys, if you like what you saw, please subscribe and have a great day. Make sure to call us if you need to rent or rent out your property. Ciao.